Nice to have you back with us, Jason.
Yeah, head coach of the main men. That's what we call it, the main men.
Well, do you know what? I was corrected last year. I was told it was the adult team.
This is what I was told. Yeah, because we are technically it's mixed.
Yep.
So any females can play for us, but with women being so successful, there's not really a desire for many females to play. If they wanted to, they could.
Yeah.
But we are the adult team. Yeah. The main men.
So we were in the European Championship, and it's going to be in 2025. I think it's going to be like between August and September. We've got 2 games coming up in October, the 12th and the 19th.
13th and 19th.
30th and 19th. Oh, thanks for correcting me. How are you preparing for that, and how many practices do you have up until then?
We've got today's our heavy lifting day today. So we've got 5 hours on the field, and this will be our 75 extended squad. We know we're taking 45 to Sweden, and we'll have 45 dressed for Germany. The rub is that they could be the same 45, it could be a different 45. The reason that we've got a 75-man squad is because we pick a team to win a game. It's not one size fits all. Yeah. We've got some really, really talented coaches, some very innovative coaches here, and we want to make sure that we're future-proofing ourselves, and that we pick the best team to win, and we put our guys in a position to succeed. And that's what coaching is for me, is putting our guys in positions and scenarios where they're going to win. They're one-on-one battles, whether it's blocking or tackling or catching. Also, in the whole scheme of things, we want to create mismatches all over the field. We want to be innovative about how we attack a defence and how we attack an offence, and having a big squad like a 75-man allows us to do that.
Got a depth and redundancy in players, it sounds like.
Yeah, it's depth and it's quality as well. We've got our running back room is phenomenal. Our O-line, I think, is the best O-line we might have had since the early 90s in terms of their size and their ability to do a lot of things. People think offensive line are big, sloppy guys. These guys are all put together. And we've got some of the best O-line in Europe, I believe, and I'm really excited to see them take the field against Sweden, against Germany.
Okay. So you're in Division D. It's Great Britain, it's Sweden, and it's Germany.
Yeah.
You play them both. Sweden's ranked number 4.
Correct.
GB's ranked number 5, and Germany, even though they've got them as 12, we know they're not 12.
Yeah.
No doubt you've got scout tape on Sweden. What are your challenges? What do you see Sweden bringing to the table, which potentially could be a problem?
Well, everything's a challenge, isn't it? I think the big challenge is ourselves. We can't get complacent. We know that we're playing a team that's not been ranked outside the top 4 in 15, 20 years. They're a powerhouse. They consistently win games against the biggest nations. They were European champions not so long ago. They were playing in a European final not so long ago. What we need to be able to do is guard against ourselves. We know what we need to do. They've got a new coaching staff. They've got a new roster of players.
I'm sorry, is the German team?
Sweden. Yeah. So Swedes are in a situation like we were in Milan, where the Italians didn't really know what we were about. So we don't really know what the Swedes are about. So what we need to do is play our game. And that's what we're about complacency is. We can look at the tape, as much tape as we want. We can scout them as much as we want and look at their coaches and their tendencies and their players. If we don't get our shit right, well, that's where we're going to fall down. So the big message today was, we're Great Britain, we're not good Britain. I want us to be elite in everything we do. And the small shit is the big shit. I want us to make sure that we are looking at, the nuances of the game. Because half a step there, half a step here, that's the difference between like first downs. And it's an old cliche that it's a game of inches. But in European football, there's no easy games. We need to make sure we are supremely prepared to know what we're doing and to go to Sweden. Then, we've got coaching. We feel we can adjust pretty well. But Sweden are a powerhouse, man. We don't really know what they're doing. So we're going to look at their stuff, but we're going to focus on us and make sure that we're not, riding too high.
Yeah.
It's going into it, and it's a game. And the same goes for the Germans. The Germans they've not played international fixture in 10 years.
I was going to say that you got another powerhouse to deal with it, because you've got a powerhouse that's got one of the strongest domestic leagues in the GFL. They've got the EFL there as well, so you've got German players playing in 2 different types of leagues. The German national team has got a real good pool of players to choose from. So, that having that in your mind, they're going to be bringing it. So, how are you going to plan and prepare for a game like that?
We've not got a team of hat stands. We've got some guys who play in the ELF, guys who play in the GFL. We've got some really talented athletes, and they've got a big professional league, and they've got money and infrastructure and a lot of things that we don't have, things that we would cover in the UK. But we've got some really good athletes. We've got some guys who have mixed it in the ELF this year. And we've got some guys who would be playing in pro leagues in Europe, but life has got in the way. They've got jobs, they've got families, and we've got a really talented team, really, really talented team. So the Germans are going to bring it, and they're going to be every bit as athletic as we are, and every bit as talented as we are. They play at higher level, week in, week out, probably, in terms of that we were battle tested, but they've got things that they're working against them as well. The GFL final the same day that we play the Swedes, so they're going to struggle kind of going into and getting into camp and everything. So we'll see what happens.
You mentioned a good point there about those leagues in Germany. I mean, I'm sure you've seen it. Just fly east for an hour and go to a game, and you can see that the infrastructure, the operations on the ground, you can clearly see that there's funding in it, and it's been funding in it for years. How do you, for the GB program, right, how do you in the future plan to try and sustain, if not build, on what empire that you have now? Because I think that the common denominator here is finance, right? And if you can get an injection of finance to support the GB program, I can only see this going on the conveyor belt moving forward. Yeah. I mean, what's your view on it?
I think we would all love to be have a professional league, having this, that, and other. Finance is a big barrier for us, but success is only going to breed success. And I think we need to fight the good fight and believe that good times are just around the corner. You can be mining for years and years and give up just to have that seam of gold inches away. So we're just going to keep fighting the good fight and control what we can control. And the hope is that we have 2 really good results this year, and we're in Pool A, and it will become a much more attractive proposition for sponsors. With the LA Games in 4 years' time, and flag football in that, we've got a big cash injection from Sport England to work on the infrastructure of predominant flag and that aspect of things. We just need to keep fighting a good fight and not worry about the money. And it's hard because it's a financial hit on us all, because all the coaches and all the players pay to be part of the program. And I'd love to be in a situation where it's a level playing field. But let's get real, right? How many sports in the UK are professional, truly professional? Rugby, soccer, cricket. Outside of that,
basketball.
There's no funding anywhere. Emily Campbell, who's a weightlifter, trains out at the University of Nottingham Gym. She's the double Olympian, right? She's won bronze medals in Tokyo and won bronze medal in Paris this year. She wasn't funded by the Olympic Association of British Weightlifting to go to Tokyo. She had to finance her own self. We've got people who train at Pierpoint, the water sports arena, doing kayaking and canoeing, not sponsored. They need to fund themselves, and we are kidding ourselves if we think we're the NFL or the ELF or anything like that. We're not. We just need to make sure that we make it equitable.
Jason, do you know what? We are losing, right? We are losing our talent, born and bred talent in this country, to European teams. May it be Sweden, in Sweden leagues, may it be in Austria, may it be in Germany, may it be in Spain. These guys are playing at Premiership here, then they're going over there and playing over there. Why? just like you, or like me. They want to play at a high level,
Yeah.
and at the same time they're getting paid for it. Now, what's happening there is it will piss off the likes of Tony Allen. It will piss off the likes of Jonathan Homer, and all head coaches that have got these great players that are leaving to go over there. This is my opinion. This country needs a Super League to retain our players. You see what I'm saying? You need a Super League. And I've had this conversation with Chad, and I'm going to have quite a few more conversations with Chad about this. And he kind of agrees as well that this is what we need to obviously raise the awareness of the sport, retain our British talent, and what the impact that would have on the GB team be twofold. It's common knowledge, right, that Blackpool have just won some £250,000 worth of funding from Sport England. Okay, the big question out there is how's that being chopped up? Does your program get some of that? Do the under-19s get some of that?
What it needs to go towards, and now we're getting off kind of more of a philosophical discussion about BAFTA and the wider thing rather than the GB program, kind of outside my sphere of control.
Yeah.
That money needs to go on the infrastructure, and it needs to go on the kids. Right?
It needs to go where, sorry?
On the kids. Kids.
Because at the moment, a lot of that money is kind of geared towards the LA Games. We need to make sure that we are bringing people into the sport and crucially keeping people in the sport. Because I think that we are one of the fastest growing sports in terms of participation in the UK. More people are accessing the sport every year, but I think we've got one of the highest turnover rates in that people leave the sport. But why? Well, it's 3 reasons. It's quality coaching, quality of facilities, and quality of administration, right? We want to see loads of kids playing flag, right, and getting into the game and being excited about the LA Games. At the moment, the flag structure in the UK, particularly under 14, under 16 level, and a cadet under 12, isn't great.
Doesn't exist, does it?
It's in its infancy. So I clearly can understand that.
We need to.
Yeah.
And it would be selfish for me to say, as a men's national programme, I want all the money. Because it's not about me.
No, that will be selfish.
It's not about these guys.
That will be selfish, you're saying you want all of it, but a percentage of it to maintain.
I think there's a piece that we need to speculate to accumulate. If we start handing out this, that, and the other, and I think there's an argument to have some centrally contracted guys, like they do at rugby and in cricket, that we give them a bit of sponsorship, internal sponsorship to help with their travel and help some of the better guys. But as soon as you give it away, it's gone. Right? And it's great to be able to compete at an international level, but the old Bible verse, give a man a fish he can eat for an hour, teach a man to fish he can eat for a lifetime. We need to teach our guys how to fish. And I think a Super League's a great idea. I think building things like that is a great idea. But again, philosophically, Britball, and you guys have been around Britball long enough, and I've seen Britball for the last 15, 20 years, very parochial. Our coaches, our players, this is mine. Right? You're not allowed to go and play for that Super League team, you're not allowed to go there. And yeah, players should have that free movement.
I agree.
Coaches will be unhappy, and I think it requires a very grown-up conversation, not at the BAFTA board level, but also with some of the coaching staffs. Yeah. And I think it's a great idea. I really like what the Major League Lacrosse are doing in the US, where they have franchises, and they'll go on tour and they'll play 3 or 4 games in one venue on a day. So you get 8 teams, one day, everyone plays. You get in touch with local schools and get people there, and people will swarm to that. It's a travelling circus, essentially. I think there's an argument for that, where you can still maintain a Premiership football environment, but we have a way to create. Now, the European thing is an interesting thing, because people will go there to play professionally. But what is professional? Because some people are getting lodgings, which is great. Some people are getting paid in pizza, which is great. You don't go to earn money in Europe. You go for a lifestyle. I believe that the guys who go there, playing the game they love, if they're young enough and they don't have any wives, girlfriends, jobs, families, they'll go and have fun. Certainly at the University of Nottingham, I've got a bunch of guys who go after they graduate, have a great time. But it's for a short time, not a long time. what we are as a national programme, we're a long-term prospect where we've got guys who, yes, who are 18, we've also got guys who are 30. We want to get younger, absolutely. But the national programme is that constant. We're always here. And the goal for us, or what we can do in terms of talking about things that we can affect, positive effect, we want our guys, when they come here, to have a great time. We talk about going abroad and playing with the best and coaching, playing alongside the best and get a great experience. That's what they get here with us. They get 5 hours of practice with some of the best coaches in the UK, playing alongside the best guys. And we want to make sure we are developing them as people.
But that's a very good point, though. When you're talking about the best guys, talking about the best guys in GB. Now I'm thinking to myself, does Jason Scott feel that you have the best guys?
Best guys,
here?
yes.
The reason why I say that, is because you mentioned to us before that the players have to pay. They have to pay a percentage to participate.
Yeah.
And you know, even when we were playing back in the day, it was exactly the same thing, Jason. So we're talking about 20 to 25 to 30 years ago. It's been the same thing up until today.
And I can't see that changing.
How do we address that and say, you know, some of those players that potentially can't afford to play but are impact players, how do we support them? You know, this, and I'm sorry, I put my calculator, puts the 1 and 1 together and come up with probably 13, but again I see Rafa having this money, and you know, I'm being selfish. I'm going to be selfish. I'm talking about the adult team here, helping you operationally on the field, on the ground, have the best picked players to win games. Wouldn't it be sensible to try and help those players that are impact players that unfortunately can't afford to make it?
Be honest.
Serve GB.
And I will be honest. And it's tough. It's financially tough for everyone. Right? Coaches, we all pay our way as well. We've got coaches coming down from Scotland, and so it's
and Jason, you know what? I'm going to stop you. You shouldn't have to.
Yeah, but
you should not have to be doing that.
Well,
you know, Jason, you should be on a salary.
You know, you should be on a salary. That would be beautiful, wonderful to do something like this that I enjoy, to be paid for. But at the moment, it's an investment of my time. Right? I don't talk about sacrifice. I think sacrifice is a dirty word.
No,
sacrifice
we wouldn't be here for the sacrifice.
You give something and get nothing in return. Right? This is an investment of my time because I get something back from this. Right? I get joy working with some of the best coaches. I enjoy the process. I see players grow and develop, even at this late stage. It's all really important. So financially, it is it's a challenge for everyone involved. Now, I would caveat that with, if it's important to you, you'll find a way. If it's not, you'll find an excuse. Right? And some guys will make it work, right? No matter how hard it is. And it's hard for all of them. That's not me saying sat here in an ivory tower covered in cash. Right? We find a way. I think some of the people who aren't in the programme would like that more than the opportunity to play. They want it to be given to them. Things are earned, they're not given. They want, you know, I've had people requesting, oh, you're going to give us a helmet, you're going to give us this, you're going to give us that. No, we're a team, and we've got to be in it together. And I think there was a halfway point where we do need to have a hardship fund for people who genuinely need it, not for people who want it. Because everyone deserves to be treated fairly, but not everyone should be treated equally.
So I'm going to go out on a limb and say something. And obviously you're going to give the answer to this. But if you had the opportunity, if you knew there was an opportunity for you to be paid roughly around about the same as your day job, but being the head coach full time, would you take the job?
Absolutely, but I'd look at the numbers and go, okay, well, that's one person. We're talking about Jason Scott, the head coach of GB. Yes, your coaching staff will get recompense in some form or shape. Right? So I'm a progressive socialist. So I believe in hand-ups, not handouts. And again, it has to work for the programme. I'm not interested necessarily in one guy getting paid. It has to work for us because it's not me on the field making tackles. It's not me scheming up the offence and defence. There are guys who deserve it every much as me. And it is the subject of finance is a really thorny one, and it's tough. Like
I know, Jason. I know it's a thorny, sensitive subject. But just going back to what you were saying, the players are responsible in the field.
Yeah.
The coaches are accountable.
Yeah.
Okay. So you've got probably if the GBT goes 0-10, guess what? They're not cutting the
It comes to
players,
you.
they're cutting you.
Yeah. Well, exactly. So it's my job.
Yeah.
You know, and I am, you know, in a publican sense, it's my name above the door. So I'm responsible for bringing guys in and making sure that I guard against ne'er-do-wells. But I'm not on the door. I've got coaching staff who will be my gatekeepers.
Yeah.
I've got guys who are only let in to the programme who are going to extol virtues of good behaviour and, you know, make sure that you're all doing the right things at the right time. And there are cohort of people who want the moon on the stick. And at the moment, where we are right now, it's not possible. I think what we've done better than anyone else in this era, these last 3 years, is bringing people in and developing people and giving people opportunities.
So right? Just so I'm clear, what's not possible?
What?
Just so I'm clear, what's not possible?
Financially, right now,
okay.
I you know, we're not in a situation where I can be financially reimbursed. Yeah. Now, at the University of Nottingham or other places that have a infrastructure and have a processes, but that's possible. In a national programme, it's more like a charity. We're going to donate our time. Now, if there was a realm where coaches get paid, we need to be held more accountable. Because at the moment, I need to be given a performance support review. I need to have key performance indicators. I need to, like you're saying, if we go over 10, I don't have a job anymore.
Yeah.
So if they are going to recompense me, then I need to be held accountable for not just performances on the field, because winning isn't just scoring more than the other team. Winning is developing things and creating a good staff and building culture. And that's what I've been hired to do, is to build a winning culture, not to just win on the field. My strength is philosophy, it's culture, it's an environment.
And do you know what, you're right, that so-called winning culture that you are being brought in to do, the result is winning on the field. It is actually winning on the field. It is winning on the field. So I'm just listening to what you're saying, and I think to mind 1966 comes to mind. And I think of the British public. We love a champion. We always hang our hat on whenever 1966, the European Championship or the World Cup comes around, we always hang our hat on 1966. I want to go out on a limb and say the British public don't know that we've been European champions in the past. They can't hang their hat on that, yeah. But if British American football, and when British American football, and I'm sure British American football pretty soon is going to start winning games. I am hoping it's going to bring, you know, new eyes, new lenses on British American football. Yeah, and sponsors will come in, and sponsors will invest. And yes, they will do provide the KPIs. Yeah. They will do all that, and you will have to deliver.
Yeah. Yeah. Again, and that's part of the investment with Sport England funding. It's investing in the infrastructure to be able to sell our product to the audience, because you know we played the day before the NFL game in London. You know, we're going to fight to get bums on seats. You know, and again, talking about the parochialism of British American football, there's some people who won't come and watch a national programme if it's at the end of their garden, because it doesn't directly affect them. And what we need to do as a national programme, as an NGB, is engage membership and engage the wider community, saying, look, we're doing some pretty good things here.
100%.
So again, but that's part of the funding discussion. I know I've had numerous conversations with Chad, and we're excited about him. I know he's kind of planning things and taking to the board, and I think we are going to see some real movement in terms of the organisation of things. But right now, I can't sweat on that stuff. All I can sweat on at the moment is Sweden, Germany.
That's the next thing up, Sweden.
Yeah, and at the moment, our next thing is make sure that we really practice, and you know we're putting guys in a position to succeed. It's coaching. Because we've got, like I said, we've got some really talented guys. I'm really excited about the guys. And it's all we need to do.
You know, well, Jason, look, we really thank you for bringing us up, inviting us here. You know,
and taking the time out for sure.
Seeing, you know, the GB team, seeing the under 19s, you know, it's made me feel damn jealous. I still feel like I can do it.
Yes, I need to put all your hats on and interview you guys.
I can't do it.
So how do you feel, kind of like seeing, you know, the national programme where it is now to where it was when you guys were involved?
Oh,
you know,
it's night and day.
Are you impressed? If you were to cut a pitch to all your Hall of Famers and all the greats from back in the day, you know, do you think you'll be proud of the product we're putting on the field and what we're building?
You take this one, Rob, and I'll come in.
Yeah, I mean, I'll be very honest. Yeah, definitely. When we was playing, it was very, very different. We never had nothing remotely like this at all. You know, I don't even think. Did we even? I think we practiced like we might have gone to wherever we were going to play the game, do our practice in there. That's the only practice we had. We wasn't practicing throughout the year to play any European team. We did it either we went over to wherever we went for the week and practiced that week together. You can't build no cohesion like that. I guess we were like the old England football team where it had your Rooney's, all them individual players, but somehow we was able to do it where they wasn't. But we still loved the game, but we was able to bring it together. But the cohesion. Because there was a group of us that played together on the Great British Cup, that's why we was able to win the games we won. So looking back on it, yeah, it's a big difference and it's come a long way. And I'll take my hat off and give you your flowers on that one.
Don't give you flowers until we win.
All right, I'll hold back the flowers then.
I'll see you in Coventry on the 19th. You can bring a big bouquet.
Okay, but yeah, it's definitely a big difference. I haven't got to see much of their practice at the minute because we're doing what we're doing. Hoping to have a look once we finish this. But yeah, definitely in my eyes it has.
But what we want to do is exactly that. We want to build a programme, and maybe we have better athletes, maybe we don't. What's going to carry us through is the team spirit and the camaraderie. Because, as I said to you, when we talked, last, you don't remember necessarily the games, but you remember the times in the locker room. You remember your teammates, and that's what's really crucial for me is creating those relationships that are lasting and are meaningful. Because when you genuinely care about people that you're playing with, you play harder, and that interconnectivity is not just a bunch of guys who are just going to work on game day. Now this, I think, is our 16th practice this year, and we want to build something that's meaningful, and it's going to last. And it's not going to be a constant climb. It's going to plateau a little bit, but as long as one foot follows the other, we'll be moving forward.
I hear that.
What do you reckon, Hutch? What do you think?
I think from a facilities perspective and what the players have access to today in comparison to what we had access to me, that part's like night and day. Okay, we've got great facilities. With regards to the coordination of the practices, that looks like roughly the same. I mean, it seems like it's pretty chilled. People know where they're going. Do you see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I can see a lot of one-to-one coaching going on. Yes, I've got a trained eye. I can see the mistakes out there, but at the same time, because of the facilities and what opportunities that these guys have got, I think that is more than what we have.
Yeah.
More than what we have.
Yeah.
And I think you guys, like I'm a historian of the game, and I recognise all the stuff you guys do and all the great Hall of Famers from the past, and everything you did, you were supreme athletes, and what we need to do is continue to find those athletes and continue to push them. And I think the demands on their lives is greater, and the football is wider now. There's more football in Europe. There's 12 teams in Division A of Europe, so there's no easy games. All the way down from Austria, Finland, Sweden, Germany, all the way down to Hungary, Czech Republic, Switzerland.
They're big games, man.
Yeah, and it's an honour for us to be able to go and represent not just ourselves and British American football and the GB Lions, but also you guys in the Hall of Famers, because for me it's to understand where we've been is as important as where we're going. You need to understand the impact understand the past to appreciate the future. And we wouldn't be able to do the stuff we're doing without guys like you to remind us of the past and for us to be the role models, the forefathers, and that link is really, really important to me. And I've had as many Hall of Famers and former GB guys that come to the game, and we want to do you proud as much as we want to do ourselves proud, do British American football proud, and our families proud. Because, like it or not, we're in this together.
100%.
It's British American football. And
we all have the passion, believe me, we all want to see this team have the wins, the win column. Yeah. We want to see that. Most definitely want to see that. But you just put a question in my mind about off-season.
Yeah. Can I just check my timing?
Oh yeah, is it live and direct? Yeah. So okay, so we'll make it the last question because trust me, we'll have you here all day. Off-season. Yeah. Is there an off-season program for these players? No, for the players.
No, I mean no, because it's a 12-month deal for us. We recruit in December. Then we have a trial. We have a big open trial. We're trying to work a situation where we can play the Belgian national team against our under-25s team.
Sorry, under-25s?
We're going to try early stages. Belgians are going to come over, and I want to kind of put the guys who are developing, not quite there yet, on the field against them, give them an opportunity to represent the Lions. And then we recruit, and then we'll start building again in January. We'll have a practice a month, at least once a practice, all 2 a day, so 3-hour, 2-hour session, all the way up until probably July, which will be our first round of placement games, and then we'll play again in October, and then the cycle starts again. So it's always done in the background. It's like your computer, isn't it? Operations running in the background, so we're always constantly there. You can open and close tabs, but we want to make sure that the national programme is that constant, that they have something to look forward to, because football, for some people, is 12 months still. The university season runs from September to March, and the adult season runs from April through to September. So a lot of players are playing 12 months of the football. We're certainly coaching 12 months at a time, so it's busy. Well,
Jason, listen, appreciate your time, man, and thanks very much.
And I'll be back later and we'll chat a bit more.
No doubt.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.